Hello and good evening, everyone. We are back again for one more Instagram Live leading up to the Walk for Freedom this Saturday. Today, I have two amazing guests, and we're going to be talking about Walk for Freedom in Chennai specifically. I can see one of our guests here. Hi, Paloma. I'm just going to bring you in. We also have, if you could accept that, I can. Hi, Sally. Hi, Shiva. Hi, Vishnu. Good evening, Paloma.
Hi, good evening.
Thank you so much for joining us on this live. I really appreciate you taking the time out and using your platform to talk about a human rights issue. I really appreciate that you have a heart for this and that you are taking efforts to help your community get to know about this as well. Thank you so much for being on this live.
My pleasure. You may hear my daughter screeching in the background, so I apologize in advance. But I think this cause and a few specifics sort of hit harder to home actually now that I am a parent. And you're no longer just talking about, somebody else's children, right? So that was one of the reasons why I really wanted to make time and chat about this issue a little bit. But I'll let you dive into the deep end. And I think we're waiting for a guest to join us, right? So I'll
Yes, yeah, and no worries about your daughter. I have a 4-year-old as well, and she's interrupted a lot of these conversations, so I feel you. And yes, you are so right in saying that everything changes once you become a parent as well. And this does hit a lot closer home when you realize that children around the world are suffering through horrific things, and there's something that we can do about it. So for those of you who are joining us now, we are here to talk about the issue of human trafficking, and we are doing this in the lead up to an event called the Walk for Freedom, which is going to happen in 500 cities, 50 countries around the world. In India, it's happening in 20 cities, including Chennai, where Paloma is joining us from now. And we have an NGO who's going to talk to us about this issue. And the NGO is called Justice and Hope. They work specifically in Chennai. They do a lot of work with survivors of trafficking. And we have Malati ma'am, who heads their anti-trafficking project, who's going to join us on this live. Malati ma'am, if you can see the invite, if you could please accept that, I can bring you in. Yeah, I've just resent the invite to Justice and Hope 1.
Hi to everybody tuning in to the live. Hi, Vivek. Thanks, guys. I know we get a lot of attention when there are celebrities on that we're chatting with. I hope that you guys will give this cause equal weightage and importance. It may not be the most fun of topics, but it's one that needs to be discussed. So those of you that are tuning in, I request you to stay on. I know everyone's in the festive mood in the lead up to Diwali, but I think we also have to take a few moments to think of all the stuff that's happening around us. It's just half an hour of your time, and I think you guys will learn a couple of things that you didn't know. We're talking about the subject of human trafficking today. It's a really intense subject, and the more I read up on it and the more I looked into it, the scarier actually it became. So then I think we need to arm ourselves with the knowledge of what can we do, right? And thank you all once again so much for tuning in. We're going to quickly just take another 20 minutes and answer all of your questions. So if you do have questions, they may seem dumb, in fact, but ask them. That's the whole point of doing this. Yes, advance happy Diwali to all of you tuning in. So while we celebrate, I feel let's take a few moments to talk about this issue. And I think Malati has finally joined us, giving us a good view of her living room. Malati, can we see you now?
I think you just need to switch the camera, ma'am, and we should be able to see you.
Vivek,
I'm just messaging her on the side as well.
Yeah. So we're just waiting to get the conversation started. Hi, Vivek. Hi, everybody who's joined in. We're going to quickly jump right in. I think we're just waiting for Malati to turn the camera around and officially join us. In the meantime, anything else you want to share with our audiences, we can get right to it, I think.
Right, sure. So I think maybe we should start with just defining what exactly the issue of human trafficking is. I think people sometimes have a misconception that it is only about prostitution, forced prostitution, but actually, human trafficking covers a whole host of crimes. Put simply, it just means the buying and selling of human beings for profit. So, when we hear it in that sense, the fact that it's happening in the 21st century is just unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
But
It's
yes.
everything. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, but it is true. We say that slavery doesn't exist anymore, that it's only something of the past, but modern day slavery is very real and it has so many different forms. So there's so many different things that come under the gambit of human trafficking. Yes, trafficking for commercial sexual exploitation is one of them, but people are also trafficked for things like forced marriage. There are girls who are sold as child brides. There are people who are trafficked for their organs. So, organ trafficking comes under human trafficking as well. There are people who are exploited for forced labor. They are made to work 18 hours, 20 hours, given no wages or wages far below what they deserve. Exploitation for forced labor also comes under human trafficking. And there's exploitation for domestic servitude. So people who are forced to work within a home. So all of this comes under the gambit of human trafficking. And many of us are, it's happening all around us, but most of us have our eyes closed to it or we can't see it happening around us. So that's why we want to do more of these awareness sessions. We want to get the public aware about the issue, because that's when we can actually start to make some change.
Right. I'm just going to continue. Hi to everybody. Ashwin, hello, hi. Thank you so much for tuning in. Manoj, hi. Thanks, guys. So, other question. Okay, I think Malati is on with us. We'll probably dive right into it. Hi, Malati.
Hi. Sorry.
So
Yeah. Good evening. Good evening.
Being a part of this live. Good to see you.
Sorry?
Yes, we can hear you.
Esther? Yeah.
Thank you for being a part of this live and good to see you. Let me just quickly introduce you. Malti ma'am is the head of the anti-trafficking project at Justice and Hope. They're an NGO based out of Chennai. They do some amazing work specifically with vulnerable women and children. By training, Malti ma'am is a social worker. She has a heart to help those who are broken, restored to a life of dignity. She's been in the juvenile justice system for over 8 years and she comes with a lot of experience, especially working with children. So it's great to have you here on the live, and Paloma, you can take over from here. Please feel free to ask her anything and we can get the conversation going.
Hi, Malati, once again. I'm going to say kudos on the fabulous work that you guys do. In fact, one of the people have commented, especially children, are they, more vulnerable than most to something like this? That's a topic that we would like to talk about, because you do hear a lot about children being kidnapped, children going missing for the purpose of human trafficking. So a little bit on who are the common victims of human trafficking. We'll start with that. And the second thing, which is the question that everybody asks, is what can we do? What can one person do? So we'll go question by question. Well, let's start with who are the common victims of human trafficking.
Okay. So the common victims can be anybody, but as the study report says, like the victims are usually, children and women who are more vulnerable. And but men are not excluded. Men are too vulnerable of are being trafficked. So it falls on all gender category. And but in 2018 report, when we see what based on the reported case, 45% of the cases were children, and if you take women and men, 61% you could say women, and the rest are men. So they all pray for human trafficking. Yeah.
Now, the other question, I think the most important one that we should answer on this live is, of course, there's the media and all of that. When someone says, get in touch with the media, highlight this, that is something that somebody's mentioned that media should teach us good things. I wish that the media only taught us good things. Unfortunately, that is not always the case. But For example, a friend of mine went to a spa, and the lady at the spa said, we are working here, we took our passports away, and we cannot leave. The person said, I did not, he was a foreigner, therefore they said, we figured that you wouldn't complain to the owner because you probably aren't friends with the owner. He's an expat, he's a Caucasian. So she identified him as a foreigner. She said, help us, sir, to get out of here. Now, he was in a fix. He called somebody else we knew, who called somebody else from the International Justice Mission. But my point is, somebody might say, I don't want to get involved. But what does the person actually do? Who do you call when it's a scary situation like this? Somebody saying, we are being held here against our will. For example, in that situation, who does the person call? What does one individual do?
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Malti ma'am, do you want to take that? Yeah.
okay. So what happens is, like, when you see someone undergoing something, the first thing is like, better is like, you may think the person, like, let's see, if you see someone like feeling that they've been trafficked or they are undergoing something, like you see some indicators. Yeah. So the first thing, like, what we do is, like, we want to ensure like what the person wants, and then accordingly we plan as per the need. So we may come forward, call the police, and there are helplines available, I will share. But the first thing to do is what the person whom you have witnessed wants to do. So that based on the needs, sometimes it could be like, just send me home, like help me find my way, just give me my support my travel, or support my transportation, or just give me food, or I'll be like, my parents are on their way to take me, or just refer me where a place of safety is so I can go. But there are other helplines which we can definitely connect with. One, if it is a children, like any children, if you see whom you think are in distress, anybody. So there is childline number, which is 1098, easy to remember. And it's a 24 hours emergency helpline, and anybody can use. And I think they are very integrated across major railway station, districts, and major cities, like covering almost 80% of India landscape. So you can contact them. If it is women, we do have.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this and highlighting the points, right? Because there's a lot of information hard. So you said 1098. That's 1098. That's if you see a child suspect is being trafficked. Now, for example, I see her on the road. I feel the child she is holding is not hers, which I've often felt. Call 1098 where you feel like a child is being taken advantage of. No, yes.
Yes.
It's not
you
just
can
for
call.
trafficking. It's any child in any form of distress. So if you know a child who's being sexually abused, or you know a child who's being physically abused, any child in distress, and that definitely includes the gambit of trafficking. But like Malti ma'am said, it's a 24-hour helpline that anybody can call, and we have actually called and they have actually responded. Malti ma'am, do you want to talk a little bit about how they respond? Like what happens after a helpline is called?
Okay. Since we spoke about helpline, I will just add on two more. So there are women's helpline number as well, 181. Each state has this, and you people can contact them. And calling 100 police, because that's a control room, and people will reach out, send help. And there, if you are in Chennai, if you are in, yes.
எல்லாருக்கும் ஒரு சின்ன ஹெசிடேஷன் இருக்கும் இல்லையா, போலீஸ் கூப்பிட்டா ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுவாங்களா, இல்ல வந்துட்டு இது பணம் கேட்பாங்களா, அந்த ஒரு டவுட் இருக்கும்ல எல்லாருக்கும். சோ அதை பத்தி நீங்க என்ன சொல்றீங்க? Because it's a very relevant hesitation that everyone has. I'm not going to call the police first. Who knows somebody of influence that we can call? A quick take on that.
Okay, so police, it's it's a control room. People it's recorded in their data. So if anything goes wrong, they are accountable. And so in our experience working with the police, we have seen them respond, respond on time. So, and definitely they also connect to other stakeholders like Childline, or if it is women, 181. So they have an integrated system of safety helpline. So they are even also, so simultaneously we can connect also in some case. If they are not responding, we can put pressure in a sense like, this is important, please come rescue us. And also like, if you notice someone in a suspicious way, it's not just immediately take a phone and call them, but then you can build a conversation with them. If you see older couple or men or women having a baby, you can have like, what are their parents doing? So from that you can get clues. It's not like they are dangerous to look, because they look like us, like normal people. You would see them on street, railway stations, anywhere. So it's not like, oh, terrifying people, let's not go and interrupt them. So can you repeat the question? Which Esther, what did you ask? Like, what happens
No, no.
after
Yeah, like,
child line
so
rescues?
how exactly, what if you call a helpline,
Also
what
come
next? Yeah.
to question here.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm trying to answer the questions as they come. Someone says,
Yeah.
you see a woman or child in distress, sometimes you're scared nowadays to go and help them in case somebody tells you, mind your own business. But I feel it's okay told to mind your own business, then the reverse to happen. Like sometimes you get into, like, your instinct kicks in, something is not right here. And in the not perfectly fine to go up to a person who's pulling a child and say, ask the child, do you know this person? Is it your mom or dad? And the person may take out their phone and show you pictures saying, see, this is my child. Now, the person could have been told, mind your own business, but they don't mind being shouted at. But what they would not want happening is something bad, right? So I feel like it's okay. A moment of embarrassment, but in the bigger picture, you've actually done something good, right? So you have to be okay with maybe getting into an awkward situation. But sorry, as you said, call the helpline number. What happens, for example?
Okay, so that's where our work is predominantly after, once women are rescued. So we work closely with the government. So these cases are referred to us, and our work begins from then on, like end to end. So what happens is we have something called intake, where we gather the information and also try to trace their family, where they belong. So we have counselors, like trained counselors and social workers, who work with survivors of trafficked and vulnerable children, and we prepare a safe place for them. Meanwhile they are currently in a different, like a source district or transit district, so we help them to go back to their destination, like which is their hometown. It could be any remote place or any districts in India, across India. So it's a lot of interaction with different stakeholders. When I say stakeholders, all the government, all the NGOs of both the states involved in safe restoration of children. And before sending back a child back to her family, what we do is we do a home study. So we will have a person sent and find out if the family is safe or not, or if the trafficker is from the villager, what can be done. In our cases, we have seen mother being trafficker, aunt being trafficker. So what is the alternative place of stay? So it takes a time, quite a time, to work with children, because they're already traumatized, and now they are in a place which is where the language is different, the food is different. So they have to adjust with all the situation, and thinking about the trafficker will come and do something. So this is a very crucial stage where we work, because it involves a lot of work with the mindset of children, like mindset of survivors, because the traffickers keep on telling there will be no one coming and help you. For example, one of our counselor was telling, like, it took her 4 to 5 session, like after 4 to 5 session, the girl felt comfortable to tell her, tell her name. So all the 5 session would be like, she would go and sit and come back. So that's the level of, what to say, the mental trauma that they go through.
I'm quickly going to jump to my next question, because I think we have time for maybe 2 or 3 questions more for those of you. We are talking about human trafficking, and what are the signs for the average citizen to pick up that this might be a human trafficking incident or situation? How well versed you would know, right? What are the signs that we should look out for?
Okay, so when you see an unattended children roaming around in major stations, people without official documents, and because what the trafficker do is they destroy their proof, and so that they cannot go back to their home state or even home country. You may find them speaking a different language, or they sometimes be destitute on the roads. You could find them. Sometimes you would find sudden new tattoos, coming. I mean, they will have new tattoos, which is actually sometimes pimps use to brand them. So that is also one of the indicator. And the other ways are like sometimes gifts. There will be a new friend the child would be talking, or you would find adults having luxury gifts, or things materialistic. So these are some of the indicators where you can find them. And mainly they would look, you could see visibly the physical and psychological trauma. There would be varying degrees of cuts, self-harm, you could see.
Sorry, someone from Madurai says,
I think somebody
other cities, how can we so for somebody who is tuning in, say from the rest of Tamil Nadu, இது வந்து சென்னைக்கு மட்டும் இந்த ஹெல்ப்லைன் நம்பர் வந்து 1098, இது தமிழ்நாடுக்கா இல்ல சென்னைக்கா நீங்க சொன்னீங்கன்னா நல்லா இருக்கும். If you clear up that.
It's for the whole of India. It's a national helpline,
So she had mentioned that 181 differs from place to place, right? So if somebody's calling in from somewhere else in Tamil Nadu, is it still 181, or is this information, for example, easily available online if they just looked it up? Can you answer that question?
It's online. It's online. It's public helpline numbers, like how you call 100.
Okay, sorry. And sorry, to continue what we were talking about is, if you could give people right now in a nutshell, common helplines they can call. Say, for example, we know the police is 100, right? We've heard this since we were kids. So now we're going to drill it into people's heads. If you see something to do with children, suspicious, not okay, child in distress, we told them, I'm going to say on my story at the end of this 1098. For women, it's 181. Again, depending on where in India you're from, that's a number you can call. So if they're going to go online, if they're going to follow somebody, what are the easy and legitimate NGOs that they should follow when it comes to human trafficking and actually doing some good work? Give us a few names. That'll be helpful, I think.
There are many. I don't know if I tell some. So we work with partners across India. So even like our helpline, we are based in Chennai, which is 9500 25000. It's easy to remember. So if you are in Chennai or Tamil Nadu, we will definitely help you provide information. Or if you want to connect someone, we have networks of partners across, so we can work it out with them.
Paloma, you were asking where can people find information about human trafficking, right? So there are many.
That is vast, and it honestly confuses
exactly.
you. Like, what is the easy if you all go to
so one of the simplest places to go for very accessible information is the International Labour Organization's website. It's the UN body ILO. So if you search for forced labor, or you search for human trafficking, or you search for modern day slavery and ILO, you will get their most recent report, which came out in September 2022, just last month. So that report says there are 49.6 million people around the world in some form of modern day slavery today. So that report it's very accessible to read. The key pointers are up there, easy to process, easy to understand. If you're looking for data about India, the Indian government has put out something called the Crime in India report. It's by the National Crime Records Bureau. So that is also freely accessible. The information is out there. And that report says that 8 children were trafficked every single day in India in 2021. So the numbers are out there. The information is out there. There are enough organizations talking about it and doing amazing work. One of the beautiful things about organizations in anti-trafficking is that there's a lot of room for collaboration, because like Malti ma'am was saying, once you rescue a child, you have to work across states, across bodies, across governments, across NGOs to actually make the rescue and rehabilitation of the child real. So there are plenty of organizations doing amazing work, and I really want to encourage you to follow organizations like Justice and Hope that are on the ground actively involved in rehabilitation of survivors.
So I think what I will also do at the end of this live is people have been tuning in, coming in, going out, and I think we all have the attention span of flies these days.
We all do.
right? So what people look for is information that's concise and that they can easily sort of remember
Yeah.
or on. We all want that one click. So I think I will
Yeah.
give you the numbers and give you the handles for, a few of the NGOs that they can
Yeah.
get. It's like ILO, like you said, I've got that in my mind, right? Easy to
Yeah.
remember. Maybe put a few things down on my stories, and maybe you could tell us about
Sure.
the walk that's coming up. Malati, probably you
Absolutely.
that's coming up in
Yeah.
2 days. Tell people about that they can actually physically go there and be a part of it.
Yes, so this is the Walk for Freedom. It's an international walk that's happening in 500 cities, 50 countries. It's organized globally by A21, which is an international non-profit against slavery. The walk in India this year is in 20 cities, including Chennai, and in Tamil Nadu, it's also there in Perambalur. We're across Andhra, Telangana, 6 cities in Kerala, Goa, Shillong, Kolkata, Delhi, Mumbai. Please do join the nearest walk to you. It's completely free. What this walk is it's a silent walk where people walk single file in solidarity with voiceless victims of human trafficking. What we do on the walk is we hold up placards, we hold up flyers that talk about the reality of human trafficking, because we believe that only when every single citizen is aware of human trafficking, knows the signs for it, knows what they can do to stop it, can India be free of human trafficking? So we're inviting over 5,000 people have signed up for this across 20 cities. Justice and Hope in Chennai has been doing awareness sessions in corporates like Sutherland, HDFC, different colleges, inviting people to be a part of this walk. It is absolutely free,
So, Malati,
and you can sign up.
where the walk is happening in Chennai?
Yes, at Besant Nagar Beach this Saturday at 6:30 a.m. And to sign up, you can visit walk.themovementindia.com. And it's the simplest thing to do if you actually want to take a step to help end the crime of human trafficking in India. Everybody can walk, everybody can show up, everybody can use their voice for good, and that's what we want to invite people to do.
Somebody's asking, it's already over in Mumbai. Is it done in Mumbai?
No. It's on the same day around the world. So October 15th, around the world, people are going to be part of the Walk for Freedom.
Super. Somebody said they would like to volunteer in Mumbai. So you heard that, guys. It's happening on the 15th of October. Where in Mumbai is it happening? If you could mention
In
that.
Mumbai, we're at Girgaon Chowpatty, opposite Wilson College. It's a beautiful location right by the beach, just like Chennai, and we're expecting thousands of people to come out. So please do be a part of the walk in Mumbai. Yeah.
Nice. And before we sign off, are there any last sort of closing remarks? Because I know this is a very intense topic that we've tried to cover in half an hour. We need a series really to cover all of the different facets of human trafficking. But sort of last closing remarks, maybe Malati first, and then we'll sort of see.
Sure.
Okay. So to prevent this happening, like human trafficking, it's better, like it's a great opportunity for people to volunteer in whatever, in your neighborhoods, whatever organization you find, because our strength is the volunteers who help us, like in family tracing, be our local translator. So if you're a multilinguistic person, then you can approach, or if you know, please let us know so we can also connect when we have survivors to who really need help with. So I would appreciate, like, each one of us engage in your community, not just you have to be part of a bigger organization. Whatever in your capacity you can do, and be active on social media, because you can bring out the discussion. That's very cost effective. Bring out the discussion, and also share facts, like verified facts, so that people are aware and help prevent this, help in ending trafficking.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's exactly, yeah, I totally agree with ma'am. There's something that every single one of us can do. Nobody is helpless in the face of this, though it feels like such a huge problem and that it's a issue that only the specialists should deal with. It's actually going to take every single citizen becoming aware themselves, doing something within their own community. And when we come together and strengthen numbers, I feel that is when hope arises. That is when we can believe for an India free of human trafficking. So we would love for anyone watching to be a part of the walk, do something in your community, because that's where the change starts.
All right. Thank you so much for making this happen. I really honestly didn't do much other than accept your invitation to be a part of the talk. And I'm so honored to have been able to do it. And for those of you that joined us, some of you have been here from the beginning to the end. I appreciate your attention that you've given us. Don't forget that for the Chennai keeps tuning in, the walk is happening in Besanagar on the 15th. That is the morning. October 15th, actually, it's happening all across India. More information on my story. We've been talking about human trafficking, the numbers that you need to know, and a couple of organizations that you could get in touch with to really make things happen and make a difference. So, Esther, Malati, thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Paloma. I
you.
really appreciate you
Paloma.
using your platform for good. And thank you so much, Malati ma'am, for being a part of this.
Thank you,
We love the
Esther.
work
Thank
you
you.
do, and more power to you and your organization.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we are
Thank you,
glad to be part of
everyone.
this.
Bye.
Awesome. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good evening.